Asking for advice. I'm a new DM and my group are my friends who are much more experienced in the mechanic side of D&D than me. They beat pretty easily everything I'm throwing at them. Any tips? Yes, a couple. First thing, you're not going to get it right away. That's going to happen. And I imagine that they're pretty happy about things, the way things are going. Like they feel pretty good about themselves and that they're winning pretty easily, right? And things can just go up from there. It's hard to balance encounters because the CR system is a little bit broken. I never look at CR, ever. I kind of just throw a bunch of things together and see what happens. A general tip and then a specific tip. A general tip, trial and error, go harder rather than softer. That was one of my biggest mistakes in my first campaign, is that I would always be worried about killing characters. They're a lot more hardier than you think. And so just keep leveling it up until you reach a good spot. When you do have an encounter, here's the direct, is improv. Improv. Improv is so essential as a DM because you have to get in the mindset of you are creating this world and creating this campaign before the game. You should be able to change and create the game during the game. Your players will do a ton of things in the campaign where you got to pull things out of your butt to make sure that the story aligns. You push NPCs at them right away. You push encounters at them right away. You push different factions or worlds or even whole islands at them because of the choices that they make, right? And so if we are okay with prepping games, essentially during the game, it should be exactly the same in combat. So if we do some homebrew and we get this monster up and ready to go and we figure out it's way too weak. In combat, while you're doing it, double the hit points, or have a couple more wolves from the sidelines come into the fray. Have multiple things that you can kind of spin the dials on, and you can have kind of a feel at your table for what is needing to happen. And the players won't know, essentially, right? Because you won't tell them that this is happening. But I think that too will help you kind of get in the mindset of what works and what doesn't. Is doing things live until you get more comfortable with it. Right, a lot of DMs don't do this, and you don't have to do this. This is my personal DM philosophy, and I don't do it when I don't have to. Right, if I can do an encounter from the get-go and it's perfectly great and it works well, great. I don't change anything. But in the moments where there are some things that I'm like, this won't be satisfying for them. It won't be satisfying story-wise. It's either too hard or too easy. Then I might spin up some dials, right? And again, you might throw an ancient dragon at a low-level party. And so you do something where the dragon out of nowhere perks its head up and flies away. Why did he do that? What happened? Did you guys hear anything? No, it looked like he heard something. And things like that. And maybe one of your players has really good hearing and he heard kind of like a dog whistle of some sort. And then it goes into a very interesting encounter where they thought that they were going to die to now an adventure where leads that they can follow. Also, don't forget that sometimes they do need encounters where they just obliterate them because it feels good and it feels like they're powerful and they need that and they want it, and that's fun for them. So do that too, right? Have encounters that are super easy and they feel satisfied fighting them, but also have the hard ones as well. Improv. Hopefully that makes sense and something you can kind of go off of. But great question.